A long journey led James Harrison into the depths of the dark lands of Shadmoir Castle. A famous architectural feat, this castle had a reputation as a cursed place where mystical and eerie events took place. But James was brave and determined. His goal was to solve the mystery of this dark place once for all. As he approached the castle, he noticed something strange, ominous silhouettes floating in the air. Those wisps of shadows made his heart pound harder. But his curiosity overcame his fear, and he decided to explore the castle closer. Entering the main building, James felt the cold stench that hung in the air. He was immersed in the gloomy world of the castle and was wary of every step, as if his soul was filled with a premonition of evil. But suddenly, in the blink of an eye, the ghost of the knight who had once lived there appeared between the stone walls of the castle. He looked pale and emaciated, his armor and sword covered with the dust of centuries. James stood stiffly, unable to move. "Welcome, traveler," the ghost said in a hoarse voice. "My soul is bound by an eternal curse, chained to this fateful place. I am Knight Sigmund von Falkenstein, who once served here, and I have a terrible story to tell you, one that has determined the fate of this castle." James listened to the knight in awe. He told him of a bloody ritual that had been performed at Shadmoir Castle hundreds of years ago. Sigmund von Falkenstein and his loyal knights, the faithful guards of this fortress castle, were drawn to a very dark and mysterious cult of rituals known as the Blood Moon. The tattoos on Sigmund's arms testified to his astounding devotion to this cult, and he tried to keep the castle and its inhabitants safe from the curse that had overtaken them as a result of their insane actions. But all was in vain, and the Blood Moon brought death and destruction with it. As the story unfolded before James, he became more and more immersed in the darkness surrounding Shadmoir Castle. In his ears, the whispers of the knights errant sounded constantly, and his eyes saw scenes of horror that had passed here centuries ago. He had learned that Sigmund and his knights had been victims of their own devotion. They had sacrificed the faith and innocence of the local girls in hopes of breaking the spell of the evil, imprisoned princess at the heart of the castle. But their power was not enough, and the curse only multiplied and strengthened, and the young princess died in terrible agony and loneliness. James realized it was time for him to leave the castle. He knew that this story would leave an imprint on his mind, but he didn't want to succumb to the curse and become another ghost floating in the eternal darkness of Shadmoir Castle. He hurried away from these cursed lands, leaving behind a castle filled with gruesome memories and bloody rituals. The wind carried with it the moans of the ghost knights and blew James a cold farewell. His heart was full of such creepy stories, and his mind would never be able to forget the mystical Shadmoir Castle. He continued to travel in search of other stories of cursed places, but there was always a place in his dreams for bloody rituals and ghosts that shivered in the black air. Please subscribe to the channel and watch the next video.